Nation Security General and the High Commissioner for Human Rights, that should be the Secretary General, not the Security General, for Human Rights, has strongly condemned the violence and reports of excessive force by security forces against protesters in Khartoum, Sudan. The UN's condemnation comes after military personnel opened fire on pro-democracy protesters. More than 30 people were reportedly killed. This report from Sherwin Bryce-Pease.
Scenes of chaos in what the main protest group has called a massacre. As security forces stormed the main protest camp, the army defended its actions as targeting criminals and unruly groups.
The Secretary General strongly condemns the violence and reports of the excessive force used by security personnel on civilians that have resulted in the deaths and injury of many. He condemns the use of force to disperse the protesters at the sit-in site, and he is alarmed by reports that security forces have opened fire inside medical facilities.
South Africa's envoy called for the AU Peace and Security Council's deadline for a return to a civilian-led transitional authority to be respected.
We did support the PSC, by the way, because they are nearer, they are engaged in the situation, and they got the interest of not only Sudan but the whole of Africa. And we still hope that the parties should really work extra overtime to meet the deadline. Uncertainty will create more problems in the Sudan.
The UN has also called for an independent investigation into developments on the ground and for those responsible to be brought to justice. For now, the UN Security Council is deferring to the AU's Peace and Security Council that initially gave the military 15 days to step aside and hand over power to a civilian-led transitional authority. That deadline was later extended on April 30th to 60 days, with a new deadline at the end of June. In the absence of that transition, the AU-PSC has expressed its readiness to take further appropriate measures by instituting a full range of sanctions against those who compromise the search for a solution to the crisis in Sudan. Sherwin Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.